Uh, is the background normal or inverted?
Yeah, but
It's good.
Kalpana,
It's good. It's
it's
good, Sakshi.
perfectly fine. I think so.
ठीक है. Thank you
Showing
so
head
much.
on the left side and ABP education on the right side.
Okay, so to me it's on the other way around, so I was confused. That's the
Yes.
reason I was skeptical.
Just so you know, we are live.
Okay. Good evening, educators, and a warm welcome to today's webinar on RCA Masterclass. Now, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Kalpana Chauhan from the Academic Excellence team of Hedwig Publishing. To just give you a brief introduction about Hedwig Publishing, it's an ELT specialist and leading curriculum publisher, which is part of ABP Education, the education wing of the ABP group. ABP Education is trusted by over 20,000 schools and reaches millions of students across India. Hedwig delivers curriculum-aligned textbooks, teacher resource books, and digital learning solutions that empower teachers and inspire young learners. With research-driven pedagogy, structured lesson plans, and professional development, Hedwig ensures measurable improvements in learning outcomes. Its programs align with NEP 2020, the National Curriculum Framework for the Foundational Stage 2022, and the National Curriculum Framework 2023, helping schools achieve national curricular goals with confidence. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker now, Ms. Kalpana Rajgopal, the Director, K-12 and Education Lead at English Helper. So before handing over to her, let me quickly introduce herself. With an inspiring journey spanning over 25 years in education, Ms. Rajgopal is a powerhouse of knowledge, experience, and innovation. From classrooms to leadership roles, she has consistently transformed the way teaching and learning happen. At English Helper, she's driving teaching excellence across a vast K-12 network, designing impactful teacher training programs, strengthening classroom practices, and seamlessly integrating technology with pedagogy to make learning more meaningful and engaging. What truly sets her apart is her passion for empowering teachers and building confident learners. Her work has touched and transformed thousands of classrooms across the country, creating real and measurable impact. Today, we are incredibly fortunate to learn from her insights, her experience, and her vision for the future of education. So, without any further delay, let's give a big virtual round of applause to ma'am and warmly welcome Ms. Kalpana Rajgopal. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kalpana. A very good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining this session today. I think Kalpana has very beautifully put out what the session is today, but I will quickly share a brief agenda of what we are going to be doing today, and then we will immediately deep dive into the program, into the solutions as such. With that, I'm just going to share my slide. Give me a moment, please. I just want a heads up on whether you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay, so very briefly tell you about what the agenda is going to be today is that we are going to be talking about the solution Reading and Comprehension Assistant. So the entire webinar today is about the solution, how it's being made available to you, how the students are going to access it, and how you teachers are going to be able to help them to do that effectively. So we will talk about the Reading and Comprehension Assistant. We will talk about the features, we'll talk about the benefits, and then we'll move on to the program flow. So what's the student's journey going to look like? What is it that they're going to be doing? How is it they're going to be launching the program, right? Then we will give you a live demo of the Reading and Comprehension Assistant for students, etc. And also we will show you how the teachers can access the program and how they will be able to use the program. Then we'll move on to the lesson plan, which is basically about how the students can actually be using this at home. So we will do a model class in the classroom, which the students will get to understand the solution, and then they will move on at home and do the entire solution at home as such. Alongside Reading and Comprehension Assistant, we will very briefly introduce you to our other solution called the subject-based learning. very briefly, we will tell you about it, and we have made this available also to you. We'll talk about its features, what it actually does, and then we will kind of wind up with the questions that any one of you may have. So if you have any questions, you need to put it into your chat box, and we have members from both teams who will be consistently answering your questions. And towards the end also, we will ensure to answer all your questions as much as possible within the kind of given time as such. So moving on straight away to the Reading and Comprehension Assistant, RCA as we call it, we'll talk about the key features of the solution, right? So what is Reading and Comprehension Assistant? So RCA is an AI-powered application. What does it do? It helps students of all levels build their foundation skills. And this foundation skills I'm talking about is English. And we start right from phonics all the way to listening, speaking, reading, and writing, right? So we will be covering under the foundation literacy skill. It will target all 4 skills together. And then what's important here is that, that the solution gives instant feedback. So if you are reading, it will immediately give you a feedback on how you've done that. So it doesn't just stop at correct or incorrect. It will give you detailed, explainable, and actionable how to do this and how to improve upon yourself. That's the USP here, that it gives you real-time, granular, and instant feedback to help you improve. Second is that it's adaptive in nature. So when I say adaptive, it adapts itself to the learning journey of the student as such. Depending on his level of proficiency, it will start throwing out the content for them. So it will continuously be along with their journey and along with the learner's journey, giving them content that is relevant and as per their language proficiency as such. In terms of curriculum, it's kind of curriculum agnostic. So here it can be aligned to any curriculum that you want. It could be the NCERT, it could be the CBSE, we are offering the Headway books, etc. So it is any kind of a curriculum. It can be aligned with the software as such. The other thing about it is that because it's a self-learning tool, what it does, it promotes self-learning. It kind of brings about a discipline in a person, and the learner is actually doing it himself. So it gives him a certain amount of confidence, because the solution itself is so beautifully designed that it's like it's having an individual tutor for yourself who's consistently guiding you as such. And then, of course, last but not the least, very important, that the tool itself, the solution itself has various tools. For example, if I say, it will read out aloud, but it will read out aloud at different speeds so that it aligns with your level of proficiency, slow, fast, etc. And we'll do a live demo to show all that to you. And then, of course, there is a translate tool where it will translate it into a language that you're familiar with. And of course, there are word meanings that you can look up. All these tools here, these are there to enable the learner to be actually able to comprehend what he is learning and then proceed further. So these tools are very helpful. They are interactive, and they will find them all through the solution. Now, coming to how does the Reading and Comprehension Assistant benefit the students? Like I said, first is skill improvement. So when I talk about skills, it's not limited to just, reading or comprehending. It kind of covers all the 4 skills: your listening skill, your speaking skill, writing skill, and reading skill. And then, as I said, it's contextual learning. So the content that's given to you is relevant to you, and it is as per your level of proficiency. What does that do? When there is something which is relevant to me and something that is, as per my level of proficiency, I would be more interested in doing that. Since it's easy for me, I will be more interested in doing that, and I will continue to do that. So that's important, that they get contextual learning, something that they are doing and relevant to them as such. The instructions there, all the lessons they have instructions, they are self-paced instructions, and the learner has to just follow those instructions. And then, of course, as I said, most important, that it will give you instant feedback. It's like a teacher sitting in front of you, stopping and saying, hey, read this again. So it will give you an instant feedback, and it will tell you what it is that you need to improve upon. And added to that, it will give you lots and lots of practice, because language learning is all about practice. The more you practice, the more good you're going to be at it. right? And as I said, it will be personalized pathways also here for you. And then, of course, all the skills are involved into this. So it's kind of a wholesome program, ensuring that all the pillars of language are covered into it. Alongside, content is given to you that is relevant, that's easy for you, something that you will follow, you will enjoy, and you will continue to do. So right from, as I said, phonics, right up to C2 level, right up to the advanced level, it is going to be there as your friend. It is going to be there to help you as such. Now, if I talk about, just a minute, please. So if I talk about the program flow, so this program is available for grades 1 to 8. What we have done is the Reading Comprehension Assistant has been tied to 4 specific books here. Now, those books are the Mission Grammar, Evolve with English, English Thread, and TalkFest. So these 4 books have been tied to RCA. Now, what happens is that each of these books, all these books, the series of these books, at the end, at the last page, there is a QR code, and I will show that to you and I will demo it also to you. So each of these books on their last page will have a QR code that you can scan. Alongside, there will also be a URL. So every student can get started by going to that page and scanning that QR code. Once they scan the QR code, and that's in the book, the students will immediately arrive at a landing page there, and I will show that to you how it looks and how you do that. Once the student arrives at the landing page, he will need to sign up. Now, most of these students know how to sign up, but you will require to put in your name, your email ID. There'll be other details that will be asked, which I will just showcase to you, right? Now, once the student signs up over there, he will then be given content that is relevant to him, which means it is going to be the content of his particular grade. So if it's Akash who has joined in, and we know he's in 3rd, so he will get the third grade content into it. So when he gets the 3rd grade content, what we have done is we have given them the first lesson absolutely free of cost. So what happens is that students gets this free content, which will help him get a feel and understand what the entire program is about. So he can go ahead and immediately start learning. Okay, so he starts learning and he goes along with the program content as such. And as he keeps doing the program, as he likes it, as his comfort level is there, and he finds it relevant because it is there, it's going to be basically your school textbook, right? So that's a student uses that. And if he feels that he would like to proceed with further chapters, there is an option to upgrade to the premium, and then where he can go, he can pay up and he can unlock the entire content. By entire content, I mean that he can get the entire textbook for that particular year as such. So this will be the journey of the student here. And as I said, this is tied up to 4 of your book series here. I will quickly try and show you what it looks like. So if you look at the screen here, so this is exactly how your last page in your textbook will look here. So there is a brief write-up about what the Reading and Comprehension Assistant is. It tells you about the program and then your path to better English and better grades here. And here we have given you the QR code here, and here is your URL here. The student will come here and he will click on this QR, he will kind of scan the QR code. The moment he does that, this is the page he will land up to, right? So this is the page, and I will just show you a live demo of how to do that. I'm just going to log in. So this is the students sign up page here. Now, when the students come up onto this page, they will first have to enter their email ID. So let me just put in something like enter my full name. So Asha K. Phone number is optional. So if you want to, you can fill it. Otherwise, you can leave it. Now enter a password. I will just randomly put something, but you put in your password. Put in something that is easy and that you will always remember. So, and then again, I have to confirm my password. Fine. And then I have to go down and I have to select the state that I am in, right? So let me click on Andhra Pradesh. And then I need to select the district the district I am in, I'm going to click on Anantapur here. And when I do this, I get an option to go and select my schools here. My school list is here, right? It's a long list, so it takes some time to bring up all the names here. So it will bring up all the names of all the schools that are here. Right. So just give it a minute so that you get all the names here. Right. We'll give it another minute. So you go and you select the city, select your district, and then you come and select your school as such here. Just give me a minute. Okay. So it's a long list here, so probably it's taking a little time. Okay. Nevertheless, now if you have your school name, you just go ahead and click that. You select the grade, and then you whichever grade yours is, and then you submit and you go ahead. There could be a chance where your name of your school is not there. Then at this drop down option where your school is, you will find something. You will find something like just 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can bring that once. You will find the option of others here. Just 1 second. Okay, you'll find the option of others here. Click on others. Then it will give you an option to type out the name of the school that you did not find in the list. So you type out that name out there, and then you select your grade. Once you have done that, you go ahead and you submit it here. That's only if you do not find your name in the list. You go to the others option, and then you type in the name manually. Just give me a moment, please. I'll just go and freshly select this. Grade 4, and I'm going to submit this. Let me take grade 7. I think I will just change the school a bit. Just, there seems to be some kind of a buffer up. Just give me a moment, please. Let me just take another state, maybe another district. I could just do that. And Sunil, can you just kind of
Ma'am, select the school, any of the school.
Yes, it's just buffering a little bit. Probably my internet. Just give me a minute, please.
Change the district, ma'am. Probably there is no school in the particular district.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
take East Siang. It's taking a moment to buffer. Just give us a minute, please.
Yeah, select any school, ma'am.
Yeah, I will just take maybe. It's probably the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do this again. Sorry about this, please. It's loading.
Select any school, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
Submit.
I'm going to cut it. I'll just take the grade here, and then I'm going to submit it here.
Yes.
It's not getting submitted for some reason, Sunil.
Let me check.
Just a minute. I will just go and freshly go and do this again.
It's working. Try from your end.
Yeah, I'm doing that. It's taking time to load.
Yeah. Can I share my screen?
Yes, yes, you
Yeah.
can do that just in
Yes.
1 minute.
Select any school. Grade. Yeah. Submit. Ma'am, refresh the page, ma'am, once here on the top. Ha. Do it one more time.
That's one time. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So finally, I mean, sorry about that. There was an internet problem. So now this is how you register. As I said, put in all the details into this. And once you've selected the district, the city, and the grade, it will tell you that you have registered successfully. So you close this, and then it will take you to the landing page that I was talking to you about. Okay, so this is your dashboard here. If you look at it, I had registered as Kala, and it is my personalized dashboard, which is welcoming me with my name here out here, right? So here is, so if Kala is in grade 3, Kala will get all the units of grade 3 here, right? So these are all units. There are about 6 units here. And if you click on those units, there are sub-units there. And the student will then start using the content one by one. And this is what I said, that when I said that the first chapter of it is going to be available free of cost for you, you click on this and you start learning, you start doing it. Once you have done it, you have completed it, you like to sing it, and you would like to continue more, then you will have to pay up for it. And to pay up for it, if you want to continue with it, you just click on upgrade to premium. It says upgrade now, and it will give you all the options out here. The cost is 699 rupees. And for this, what is available to you here is the entire year's entire textbook is available to you. You go, you proceed to pay here. You will land on the payment gateway. And then here you need to fill in all your details into this. And then once you have made the payment, you will go straight ahead. All the lessons will open up for you and you can continue doing all the lessons. Okay, so this is what I had said. This is your page where you will land, fill in all the details here and move. Now, that was for the students where you have to log in and you had to put in your details, etc., to accept it. Now, what we have done is that we are offering this to the teachers also, and the teachers will have access to it. And teachers, the reason this is available is so that you get a hands-on as to what the solution is, how to use it, how to go about it, and then you can go and guide the students, because consistently you will be required to nudge, to help and support the students. So once you know how the program is, you will be able to do that in a more efficient way. So this is the teacher's login page here. So if you click here, you will again reach on the same page where you have to register here. I'm going to put in maybe one teacher's name here. Okay, this is one of the teachers. I'm using that. And password is password for everybody. It is common to all. Only that in password, when you write that, the first letter P is capital letter. Okay, so remember to put this, and we will be giving you your login IDs and password. So you do not have to kind of sign up. You will straight away log in, and your login ID and your password will be given to you by us. And the password will be same for all. It is password with a capital P. So once you do that, you click on login here. And here again, as you log in, you will be, welcomed here. This is your dashboard for you. So all your information will be available here, what grades, etc. Here for teachers, what happens is the teachers will have access to all the grades. The student was for that particular grade, so he had access to just one grade, but the teacher will have access to all the grades, all the lessons of all the grades. You will have access to that, right? Now, once the teacher lands here again, there are these units, For example, we're talking about reading skill, and there are these units here. And let's go and click on, I want to do this. I click onto this. Once I click onto this, so under the reading, I have several subunits. There are 10 of those here. So I can go and I can click on any one. And this is how for reading that particular content is opening up here. Now, what you see on your screen is basically the Reading and Comprehension Assistant software here, where you're seeing that there is a paragraph here, there is an unseen paragraph here, and then there are questions related to this. Okay, so what one does is first, once listens to it. So you have the option to listen to it. You click on this.
One bright summer morning, Sophie and her dad decided to go on a picnic in the park.
Right, so it's reading out aloud. Here you can change the text size here. Additionally, you saw that it was reading at an Indian accent. But if I want to change it into, say, the United States accent, I have the option to use all these accents that are here in the drop-down one, right? And then additionally, I also have the option to choose the speed. Do I want it read out slowly? Do I want it read out at a normal speed? Or do I want it read out fast? I'll put it into normal and I will let it read out once again.
One bright summer morning, Sophie and her dad decided to go on a picnic in the park. They packed a basket with sandwiches, fruits, and a big bottle of lemonade. Sophie was excited because her dad promised they would play games and feed the ducks. When they arrived at the park, they found an...
So you saw that, the accent changed. You also saw that the speed changed. It was reading slowly and then it moved on to fast as such here, right? So that is here that you can do that. Additionally, to be able to understand this, you have the option to change the language here. Now we have the language of all the states here. We have some international language. So you can go ahead and change the language that you're comfortable with. Let me just, as an example, change it into Hindi here. Now, what you notice here is that the entire passage gets changed into the Hindi language. And additionally, the questions to here too get changed into the Hindi language. And the purpose of doing this is that we want the learner to be able to understand what is in this paragraph. He should be able to comprehend, understand what's in the paragraph so as to be able to answer these questions as such. However, if you notice, what we have done here is we have kept the answers in English. And the purpose behind that is that we want the students to be able to answer in English. We don't want to give the option of changing that. So let me just go back to the language here. Let me just put it back to English. What also happens is, as you change the language, the option of language that you have changed will appear first on your list. So you won't have to scroll down. So if you have put in Assamese, Assamese will come on top of the list here, right? So I'm going back to English here. So the learner will play and listen to it. He will listen to it at the choice of his accent that he likes, his speed, etc. And then he will answer these questions. So pick the right answer. Where did Sophie and her dad go for picnics here? Right? So let's just answer. You have this as a multiple choice. So let me just randomly pick up park and let me just submit it here. Once I do that, it says the answer is correct. Go to the next question here. So I'll just go to the next question. I'm just randomly doing it. I'm clicking on pizza and chips. I will submit this. It says sorry, it's wrong. And I can either go try that again and do it, or I can move on to the next question. So what did Sophie and her dad do after eating? They fed the ducks. When swimming, they played catch. So let's click on fed the ducks and submit. You will need to read the chapter and do the answers. I'm just randomly picking it up because we do not have too much time right now. Okay. So if you see, it says next question. So again, I'm just going to write soccer. I'm going to submit it. And then again, it says it's wrong, but I'm going to just continue doing these answers. And I'm just going to submit it here. Okay, now I have answered all the questions here. It's wrong or right. Don't go on my answers right or wrong. This is the process. You will understand the paragraph and you will be doing it. Now, once I've done all the tests, I will just click on end test here. And what happens immediately is that you get a good summary of what you have actually done. So it tells you that there were 5 questions. You did 2 of them. You took 4.11 minutes. And then there was a percentage. And of course, these were wrong here. You can return to the thing and you can go back and you can do those questions once again. Right? So this way you can go and you can do all your, so we did just one part of one unit. You could go back and there are many units and each has sub-units to it. You can choose the topic that you would like and you can do them into that. So there will be various kinds of questions, not only multiple. There could be true, false. There could be choose the right answer, or there could be fill in the blanks, etc. So questions will vary. You will have to just do it. And this is what I meant by real-time feedback to tell you what is right and what is wrong here. Just a minute, please. Okay, so this is how you will go to each lesson here and you will do your entire thing here. And this is your dashboard here, as I said. So here you can look at all the grades that you have. You click on your dashboard. You have option to change your password. You have option to edit the profile, and you have leaderboards, etc. All that will be available for you, FAQ questions, etc., which will be helpful for you to do this here. So this is about the how to use the solution as such. Right? So if there are any questions on this, please, you can put it up into the chat here and we will have our team answer it for you. Next, we'll move on to the lesson plan. Now, when I talk of lesson plan, what is it that I mean? So what the entire program is for a duration of 28 weeks here. Right? So what we are going to do is every week we will have teacher do one lesson. It will be like a model lesson. So she will open up one lesson in the school and she will do that one lesson in entirety. So she will open up and then she will demonstrate all the tools into that, like I just did it for you, demonstrate reading, the language skill in the classes, do the entire lesson 1. Of course, interact with the students in between, asking them to answer if they can answer, bring them to be able to answer those questions, etc. And do this entire lesson where the students will get a complete knowledge of what the process of launching it and how does one go about doing those lessons and such. Once you have done one lesson thoroughly, you've answered their doubts and questions, then you give the remaining lessons to them, assign it to them as homework practice for them here. So you give them those lessons, so the rest of the lessons they will do it with, but what's important here is regularity. They have to be regular in doing that because language is all about practicing. They have to just practice, practice, practice. The more they practice, the more they will be able to improve their proficiency as such, right? So you can give multiple lessons in a week, to those students. Once they have lesson, they can even go back to the older lessons and, just revisit them and do those classes here. See, and so what happens is the skill progression moves from decoding, where they began from very basic of decoding words, etc., learning what those words are, spelling those words, understanding those words. Every stage they move ahead where the level of difficulty gradually goes up. And as it goes up, they get used to using it. Content is relevant. They now know how to use the software, and you will see that usage will be continuous. And that's just what we want, that the program flow should be so seamless and smooth that the content is relevant, it's easy to do, they know the process, and then they start doing one after the other. Of course, with your help and your support each time, where you will regularly speak to them, of course, show them the model lesson, and you'll keep nudging them and you will keep encouraging them to do these lessons as such. Now, or for all these lessons, the NCERT learning outcomes are tagged. For each of these lessons, we have ensured that the NCERT learning outcomes are tagged into here, right? So this is about the lesson plan, where the teacher demonstrates the lesson in the class. Just 1 minute, please. And the students complete the remaining chapters at home. Now we next come, that was all about Reading and Comprehension Assistant that we spoke about, how the program is, what is it, and how the students will access it. And if you remember, I had mentioned that we will very briefly introduce you to our other solution called the subject-based learning, SBL as it's called, and it's for grades 3 to grades 8 now. So the subject-based learning, basically it is a product and it's by English Helper. What it does is it helps students better understand any subject. For example, it's in English, but it's a science subject. It's taught in English. So this particular software will actually help them understand that subject better as such. How does it work? So let's say you take a science textbook and then we break it down into smaller, manageable chunks. We either do it chapter by chapter, or we do it topic by topic, or we just take the important parts of it, etc. We put it into smaller chunks, and then we ensure that the learner has first done that, and then he moves on to the next, so that learning becomes easier. Instead of on the entire complex chapter there, it's broken down into smaller chunks for them to easily read, comprehend, understand, and then move to the others. And so it again here too, what it does, it helps, gives you the option of speed modulation. So I want to read it very slowly. Okay, it's a subject that I don't know, so you can modulate the speed. Translation, again, I want to understand in my language first and then move to English. So I have the option, it's completely optional. You want to use the translation to understand. And as I said, the concept is broken down into smaller chunks, enable understanding and comprehension. As you do this in smaller portions, as you start understanding it, what it does, it builds your confidence. Oh, I know this, and I know this in English now. It's science, but now I'm able to understand this in English. Slowly, it will build up your your confidence, and eventually it will help you, you improve your comprehension ability as such. So so let's say a student struggles with English, but needs to study biology. So SBA will let them understand the biology content first in the language of that they are comfortable with, right? So it will let them understand the biology concept in the language as such, and then gradually it will build up their English skills alongside. So this is a little about this thing, and this is available for grades 3 to 8 of your Science Fiesta textbook here. Students can go use it and explore it and use it there. So this is the subject-based learning, SBL, in brief for you. Now, with that, we conclude the session here. But right now, as I said, if anybody has any questions, any doubts, anything that they would like to know more about, they can write it into the chat box here. And once again here, my request to teachers is that as you go about doing this program here with the students, please ensure that there is a regularity in doing that constantly the students are supported. And of course, you have the solution with yourselves, which when you use and as you use, you will be more familiar with it and you will be able to guide them better. And thank you for doing this, teachers. And before I kind of take off, there is the scan, there is a QR code on the screen here. I would request all of you to just scan this. And this is all about giving your feedback on the solution as such, as what you learned today. It's a feedback that you need to do. I would like each one of you to actually go ahead, scan, and fill in the feedback form. It is essential that all of you do it. Right? Thank you so much, everybody. I'm extremely sorry for that little glitch that happened in the beginning there. But I hope the process was simple and everybody was able to understand. And anyways, we are going to be answering any doubts and questions that anybody may have on the chat as such. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a good day. Good evening to all of you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kalpana ma'am. We're just looking forward to chat window. I think people are taking some time to process through the information that you have shared with us. In fact, even later on, if we get to hear something from them on the chat window, either on the Facebook or on the YouTube page, I think we should get back to you on that, because as of now, I couldn't find any question. But going forward, because it takes time to process through this, the technology is such that they have to think about it again. They have to revisit it, because many of the teachers are not techno savvy. So yeah, so we are looking forward.
I completely understand. Completely understand. Please, absolutely. Once they start using it, I'm sure they will have lots of questions. So yes, absolutely.
So formally, here comes the best part of any session, which I feel is the word of thanks, where we finally get to talk after learning so much. So first and foremost, our deepest gratitude to Ms. Kalpana Rajgopal for such an insightful and engaging session on the English Language Lab, along with SPL. Your expertise, clarity of thoughts, and practical approach have truly helped us understand how language learning can be made even more interactive, effective, and impactful. The ideas and strategies you share today with us will certainly inspire us to transform our classrooms and enhance student confidence in English. I would also like to thank all the participants for their active involvement on YouTube as well as Facebook, because I was going through the messages flowing through, and their enthusiasm, which actually made this session even more meaningful to us. A special thanks to the organizing teams of Headwood Publishing as well as English Helper for their seamless coordination and efforts in making this session a success. So it's always the people who work behind the curtains, they matter the most, because without them, the show cannot go on. So once again, thank you, Ms. Rajgopal, for your valuable time and for sharing your knowledge with us. We look forward to have many more such enlightening sessions in the future as well. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you so much, Kalpana. And thanks to both the teams for putting up such a great show. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, ma'am.